Hi everyone, my name is Davis Whiting. I'll be a junior at High Point and I'm a leader with FCA, and I'm really grateful to be able to make this video with Chapel. And the object that I have that brings me closer to God is this red wristband that represents a friend of mine who passed away almost 2 years ago. His name was Jaden Woodard and we all called him Chief. And I'm not really sure why we called him Chief, but it represents him really well. He was someone that really brought the community together, and while I was really good friends with him, he was even greater friends with everyone around us. So I'm just really happy that we were able to cross paths. But the wristband used to say God's plan. It no longer says anything. I've worn it in pretty well. But what I think about more when I see it is when I was at the remembrance of his life, his sister came up and told a story about how when he was sick, she walked in all worried and she was concerned, and he looked back at her and he just said, "You don't trust Jesus." And when she said that, it really struck me, because here she is coming in kind of scared, and he's just like, "Yeah, whatever happens, Jesus has me covered. You don't trust Jesus." And it made me reflect about my relationship with God. It's like, do I have that type of faith where it's like, no matter what happens, I know I'm going to be secure because of my faith? And it hit me, and since that moment, my experience in my life with Christ has changed completely. And I actually told this to Reverend Davis, and he told me to look at the story from Matthew about the lilies in the field. And I'm in Montana right now, so I don't have my big Bible. I carry this little pocket-held one, and I marked it so I can read it out loud for everyone. And it's about being anxious. And it says, "And why are you anxious about clothing? Consider the lilies of the field, how they grow. They neither toil nor spin. Yet I tell you, even Solomon in all his glory was not arrayed like one of these. But if God so clothes the grass of the field, which today is alive and tomorrow is thrown out into the oven, will he not much more clothe you, O you of little faith?" And I read that and I immediately thought of another moment at his remembrance when his mom came up and she spoke about his life. And Jaden has always had heart problems, and his mom talked about how every moment of his life was a miracle. Not just one moment or another, it was like every single second of his life was a miracle. And that also made me think about our text messages together. And so I went back and I looked at all of our text messages, and all of a sudden it became so clear. Jaden is someone who always joked with you and he seemed like kind of a clown, but I went back and I read his text messages, and it was so clear that he knew that his life was limited, and he was acting so positive and happy-go-lucky because every moment was a miracle for him. And so that's the challenge for us, and that's the challenge for me, that's the challenge for you, is how do you live as if every second is a miracle? Because really it is. We don't know when our end will come, not in kind of a depressing way, but more of the eternal life comes after this. And so how are we going to behave today in order to get to that final destination that we want? So yeah, that's why I wear this red wristband, and thanks for listening.